So can you really reverse gray hair? Today I'm giving you natural ways to reverse grays you're starting to see. I'll share things you need to look for, what you can do at home, and I'll even give you recipes at the end of this video for things you can apply to help reverse this process. I think you're gonna have everything you need at home in your kitchen to make these recipes, so make sure to stay tuned until the end. So before we get into this video today, do me one favor, click the subscribe button. We're trying to increase our subscribers. I know many of you are watching these videos and getting great value. It helps me out on the channel. I can bring you more and better edited content. Interestingly, one of the things we do absolutely know is that we can reverse hair color, because in a trial of immunotherapy, which is of course a very powerful therapy, of patients were on this for reason of lung cancer, but they were given immunotherapy, and what they noticed was the hair color changed from gray to dark color. And that was because of the immunotherapy given, but we know what it did. It stimulated the melanin in the hair follicle. There was an absolute effect on the hair follicle. So it's like growing hair. If you know it can be done, the question is, what was the mechanism? But this was a trial in JAMA dermatology. And so the pictures were quite astounding. So yes, it can be done. It's just about stimulating the hair follicle in the correct way to reproduce the melanin. And that's what we'll be working on now. Now your hair goes through a natural cycle of dying and then being regenerated. As your hair follicles age, they end up producing less color from something you're going to know called melanin. We know that from the skin. Now your genetics will primarily determine the actual start of graying, so when that will happen. I had a neighbor when I was growing up, he turned almost fully gray by 22, 23. I started getting a few strands at age 21, so I wasn't so freaked out because I'm thinking, well, I'm doing better than that guy. And he was fully gray by mid-20s. Now, some people love their gray hair. Some embrace it, say it's wisdom, it's a badge of honor. Other people dye their hair at a young age to look gray, so it really varies. If you are starting to see some gray hairs, you can make great lifestyle changes that can actually keep your original hair color longer. And if you're dyeing your hair, there are things you can do to prolong that effect and reduce your exposure to the bad chemicals from the dyes. In fact, some of the chemicals used in hair dyes have been implicated in bladder cancers. A lot of these have been taken out of the newer dyes. So check this out here. Bladder cancer, okay? Most studies of people exposed to hair dyes at work, such as hairdressers and barbers, have found a small but fairly consistent increased risk of bladder cancer. But here, this may apply to you more specifically. Studies looking at people who have their hair dyed have not found consistent increase in bladder cancer risk. So there's a difference there. Obviously, hairdressers and those people working around these hair dyes have more exposure and more concentrated exposure. But still, there's a concern for this. The skin is very absorptive, and the more chemicals we place on the skin, the more absorb into the bloodstream. In fact, sometimes up to 60%. So outside of the genetic aging process, you're going to find many things that affect your hair, from the growth of the hair to the hair falling out to the hair graying. One of those is certainly hormones and hormone balance. Another is body stressors, and we talked about that when I talked about Ozempic and the profound weight loss causing hair loss, or the telogen effluvium we called it. So you see here, we'll go through the what causes it in a minute in terms of stressors, because you want to avoid those, of course, but check it out. When you lose the hair with this telogen effluvium or any other cause, hair that falls out can grow back gray. And I think telogen effluvium is an extreme example, but it goes to show that we're under many stressors. We'll go into some of them in a minute. But when hair gets under stress, it becomes discolored and often grows back gray. But let's keep on this path of telogen effluvium and what are the stressors and what we can avoid. From the weight loss, when you lose a lot of weight, This happens when you get stressors in your body, such as viral stressors. We've seen that over the past few years. People lost their hair. Well, these same stressors can lead to graying of the hair. Now, you want to get your body stress, of course, under control. Sometimes you can't help that. But certainly your physical and mental stress, you want to get that under control along with sleep. I am a big proponent of supplements, especially intermittent supplements, for natural hormone balance and sleep balance. So you want to watch my videos and consider that. Two supplements come to mind here. Number one is melatonin. We know how important sleep is. And number two is ashwagandha. Many of you people either know it and you're on it, or you don't yet know about it. So I have a complete video. I'll link that at the end so you can watch that and learn about ashwagandha. It's in my stress relief gummy at a dose of 1,500 milligrams. Very, very popular. And I've used these with my patients for many, many years. So as you read the comments below my videos on these, you'll see what everyone else has to say. And keep in mind, put your comments if you're using it so everyone learns from your experience. Now, the next thing we want to talk about is vitamins, particularly B vitamins, B12 and biotin. Biotin is vitamin B7. It's a vitamin that's found in many foods. Think of eggs, milk, bananas. You also want to think of vitamin D and vitamin E. They also play a role. Biotin, of course, is often in many hair supplements. When a lot of reps come to my office, they bring me samples for hair and hair growth and hair coloration. And a lot of times you see biotin is the main ingredient. I'm sure you might have some things at home with biotin. Even shampoos have it in there. So that's one you want to pay attention to. Biotin, it's a key vitamin for hair growth and strength. It stimulates the production of the hair protein keratin, which you'll know. Research has shown that people with prematurely gray hair tend to have lower levels of biotin. Thus, it's in all of our supplements. Supplementation may help counteract that graying hair. Now, what about the other B that I talked about, B12? I'd say that's a common deficiency. I consider it common. In fact, 3% of the population aged 20 to 39 has it, 4% by the time you reach 40 to 59 years of age, and 6% of people have it over the age of 60. So B12 deficiency, it's out there, it will cause graying, and it's not that uncommon. You know people are attuned to it because if you walk into your local wellness center, they come at you with that colored syringe of B12. Here, doc, you're gonna feel better, and they just shoot me up before I start the day. So people are attuned to it, and you might pick that up on your regular blood test. It can cause different types of anemias that often your primary care doctor might work up for you. However, be attuned to your B12 levels. Now, when it comes to minerals, I want you to think of zinc, iron, magnesium, selenium, and copper. Copper is the one here you want to think about. You want to watch out for this one because it's required by that melanocyte in your scalp to produce colored hair. There are important copper transporters that play an essential role in balancing your copper levels. You can actually test your copper level and make sure it's in the normal range. Now, normal is going to be about 60 to 140 micrograms per deciliter. However, you want to be on the higher side of these levels if you want to optimize pigment. So you want to look to be about 100 to 160 micrograms per deciliter. I think it's prudent to eat the richest dietary copper sources of food, which are shellfish, seeds, nuts, organ meats, wheat bran, cereals, whole grain products, even chocolate. I know you're going to like that one, but yes, you want to be mindful of copper. Now, if you're supplementing, which many people do, you want to look for a supplement between 1.5 and 2.5 milligrams per day for adults. Keep in mind, I have specific videos on most of these, so if you put in Rajani and whatever you want to search for in Google or in YouTube, you'll see specific videos for each of those. I always want you to get it through real food, of course, but eating foods high in those, that's just going to supercharge your intake and supercharge your results. I think it's worth mentioning here, if you're going gray, especially prematurely, people think it's a sign that maybe they're unhealthy, their body's oxidizing. they might die prematurely. That's just not the case. It's more genetic, and some people just have that predilection to get early graying. Now, what about nutrition? Overall nutritional deficiency absolutely leads to graying. In my experience, in the world now, most people aren't at that level of nutritional deficiency, so it's not really one worth pursuing. But certainly those who aren't eating well, overly thin, those with eating disorders, of course, I mentioned before that could be a stressor, but that can absolutely lead to premature graying. But overall nutritional deficiency, not a big factor unless you're sick in other ways, and then you would know, or people being worked up for overall illnesses might then be nutritionally deficient, and you could improve your dietary intake, would definitely help your grays. Now let's talk about PRP and PRF. This is where you draw your blood, you spin it down, and you inject it back. Many of you get microneedling, so you microneedle that into the scalp for hair growth. I'm an advocate for PRF, which is platelet-rich fibrin. It's a different way to spin your blood, and it is 100% all natural, whereas PRP, it adds lidocaine typically, or something called sodium citrate in the tube. So there are additives and chemicals. You want all natural, but understand in your blood, there is 1% stem cells, mesenchymal stem cells. So when you spin the blood down and harvest your blood, spin it down, you are concentrating those stem cells. The other areas you get stem cells, of course, is fat and bone marrow, but the blood is the low-hanging fruit to take it from. People know microneedling with PRF or PRP from hair growth, but let me tell you, what we see is darkening of the hair in a lot of those people. It's not just that the hair is growing back more, but it's darkening, and that lends itself to the idea or the look that you're getting more hair. Now, this isn't very reproducible, so it's not like everyone gets darker hair with this, but a good proportion of people do, and it makes sense because you're waking up the hair follicle, you're waking up the melanocyte, but you're also adding stem cells to help with a lot of things, including mitochondrial function, and you're giving nutrients and growth factors in your blood. Understand, it's not just stem cells, but you have growth factors in what are called exosomes. So as you give and you stimulate back to that hair follicle, that is going to help produce more pigment. So that's what I want you to know about. Many places offer that now, and if you're wanting to get more hair, you get that double whammy of growth, and you get the darkness as well, or the pigment and coloration. I would also add something called ACELL or cellular matrix, which is pig bladder stem cells. A lot of people add that to it. I'm well versed in that. I see definite pigment changes in people using that. That gets more expensive, but you need to do it less often. So the PRF or PRP, you're going to do 4 sessions and then maybe a couple of year maintenance. When you add ACELL, it's a single session every couple of years in my experience. So what are some of the things you can do at home? What are the home remedies? First of all, coconut oil. If you're using this every other day before bed, you want to massage the coconut oil into your hair, and the scalp is key. The next morning, you simply wash it out. Very easy. Now, these remedies I'm talking about are ones that you guys have told me. At the end of it, once I give you these, understand it's really important for you guys in the comment section below. Share your knowledge. 90% of this channel, sure, is me giving you information, great, but I want you to take that 10 steps further and talk amongst yourselves in the comments. I never remove them unless there's something untoward or foul language or you're harming other people with your comments. So this is a group. I think we're all part of this channel. I don't consider it my channel, it's our channel. Now next, ginger every day. A lot of people do that. You can do this every day. You eat a teaspoon of fresh grated ginger mixed with 1 tablespoon of honey. Another common one you've told me about is blackstrap molasses. Every other day, eat a tablespoon of blackstrap molasses from sugarcane juice. You can get it from beet sugar, but you want to look for blackstrap molasses. It's believed to help reverse the aging process. Here's one for you, came from our Indian friends, is ghee. Ghee, of course, they use for so many different things. It's kind of like a clarified butter. It's another one people use twice a week. Massage it into your hair and your scalp. There's lots of nutrients in it, and you want to use pure, real ghee. On the supplement front, People swear by ashwagandha. Many of my patients take ashwagandha. I know many of you do too. It's a supplement used for hormone balance. I use it particularly in my stress relief blend. And a lot of women find that it just helps relax them, helps with the hormone balance, helps with mood, but also can help with hair. It's also known as Indian ginseng, they tell me. A lot of people ask me, hey Rajani, you have Indian ginseng? Years ago I was like, what's that? It's ashwagandha. Here's a little recipe for you. Almond oil. You want to mix together equal parts of almond oil, lemon juice, and almond juice. You want to put that mixture into your hair and of course your scalp, and you want to follow that routine 2 times a week for 3 months. I definitely want to hear from your comments below what's working. You're now going to want to watch this video on 4 supplements you can take to tighten your skin and lift your face. Stay tuned here. Keep your skin and body beautiful, healthy, vibrant.